When setting out to light a three-dimensional computer-generated scene, it won't be long into the process before you come to realize that computer lights don't always illuminate things in the same way that real-world lights do. After some trial and error and more than likely a few frustrating moments along the way, you'll discover that although there are more similarities than differences when comparing the two, there's definitely a couple of things about the way a CG light works that you'll have to keep in mind when working on your 3D scenes. Let's start by first talking about some of the advantages that computer lights have over their real-world counterparts. There's actually a handful of pretty cool tricks that you can do using a computer light that just aren't possible for one reason or another when working with a real-world light. First on that list is that a computer light can actually exclude an object or objects in a scene from being hit by that light, which translates to mean that you can selectively pick and choose only certain objects in a scene to be hit by a particular light, something that's virtually impossible to achieve with a real-world light. Everything in its path will be lit, whether you like it or not. Next, computer lights actually allow you to control just how far into the distance they illuminate, whether that be just a couple of feet in front of the light or a ways down the road. Again, something that's just not possible to control in the real world due to the laws of physics. No matter how you cut it, in the world we live in, a 60-watt bulb will only illuminate so far. That distance being determined by the wattage of the light and the density of the air that the light must pass through. Another important advantage with a computer light is the control you have over its shadow. You can actually adjust just how hard or soft the shadow's edge is, irrespective of how strong the light shines or how close it is to the object that's casting the shadow. You can even control just how dark or dense the shadows appear in the scene, along with being able to control even what objects in the scene cast a shadow. Imagine that, having a shadow-casting light only permitting certain objects in the scene to cast a shadow. Again, a major difference when compared against a real-world light. And last on the list of computer light advantages is the fact that a CG light can emit something referred to as volume light, which can be used to create effects like the shafts of light that you might see coming through a window in a dusty attic, or the streaking effect that you can sometimes see piercing through a forest of trees on a foggy morning or late afternoon. Now, that's the good side to a CG light, but you need to be aware there are a few drawbacks. Things that, if not understood, will make your job of effectively lighting a 3D scene almost impossible. For example, computer lights typically don't bounce off surfaces, deflecting their light into an opposite direction. They simply shine in the direction they point, which is certainly a good deal different than what you get with a real-world light, where light will bounce off reflective surfaces and be redirected to other areas in a scene. It's a phenomenon known as radiosity, which can be created on the computer, but typically only after an exhaustive step-by-step setup. You should also know that computer lights don't cast shadows until being told to do so. So if you're needing a shadow or two in a scene, you're gonna have to make sure that your CG lights have been instructed accordingly. Trust me, shadows won't be showing up all by themselves. That's not the way a CG light is designed to work. Also be aware that computer lights, because they don't cast shadows by default, will shine directly through objects, at least until that shadow casting setting on the light is turned on. And lastly, CG lights are designed to shine on forever. Sure, they can certainly be controlled as to how far they actually illuminate, but until those controls are activated, that light will just keep going on and on and on. It won't stop at a wall or even the edge of town. So that'll give you a bunch of very important things to take into consideration when lighting your 3D scenes. Computer lights can do a tremendous job of creating photorealistic effects, but it's going to be the way you control those lights through the settings that you adjust that will or won't create that lifelike level of realism. All of the images seen in this video, courtesy of 123rf.com.